You exactly how I got completely wrecked with crypto and what I'm going to do the next bull run to really make it. I have a couple of years of experience which I would like to share for the people that may have less experience and can learn from the mistakes that I made, because you can sell too early or you can sell too late. And if you apply the wrong strategy, it doesn't even matter when you sell because you won't get up anyway. So let's get right into that. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on if you do not want to miss out on anything. And somewhere in the video, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you get the answer right, I'm gonna give away $100 worth of my token, the What Do You Meme token. So leave a comment, I'll pick one lucky winner. Now, in crypto, there are a lot of opportunities, especially if you are new and you just come into crypto and you look at the market and you be like, wow, it's all moving so fast and I should just ape in because it's all going up. Remember, it's always going up and down, and depending on what stage of the market we are, it's mostly up or down. Now, there are, wow, a lot of coins to choose from. We started with Bitcoin, right? And then we got a lot of altcoins. Later Ethereum came, but then we got things like the Binance Smart Chain, and now the BNB chain alone has over 3 million tokens built on it, and that's just the BNB chain. So there is so much to choose. So let me first go over the mistake that I made at the beginning. So when I came in crypto, it was, let me check, and I still see it on the chart. Yeah, it was here, somewhere here. Here, November 2013. I bought my first Bitcoin for $400. It was a friend of mine. He told to me like, "Hey, I got Bitcoin and I didn't know about it, and I had no money, but I needed it, and I saw how the chart was moving, and I felt like, oh, okay, it's a lot of money for me, but let me buy one Bitcoin and let me see what it does, right? No, nothing that I felt like, okay, this is ever going to be worth like a lot. I didn't read into it. I had no idea what it was, and in not longer, probably here, January 2014, I saw that my $400 was worth $800. Well, but in that time, I was super broke. So I felt like, hey, I have made $400. That was actually a lot of money for me. So I sold that Bitcoin. And I never really looked back at it until we were around here. So later on, I got introduced to crypto again. Can't actually remember how that came, but it was during the bull market of 2017. I remember buying coins like Digibytes. So let me show you. That was really an interesting one. Digibytes, Stratus was one of these coins as well. And let me zoom in on that chart to show you how that bull market looked like. Right. So this is Digibytes. Did not do anything for a long time, and in 2017 it was going absolutely crazy. And especially in this top of the bull market, man, it was so I think a lot of people still don't have an idea of how this feels like whenever you get this, right? It was sitting at like a cent, and not much later it was sitting at 7 cents at the last day of December basically, and a week later it was sitting at 12 cents, and a day later it was sitting at 13 cents. It was going up so hard, but I stepped in right in this pump. So I put a lot of money in that I actually did not have. But I felt like, yeah, hey, this time everything was going up, right? I was sitting with friends in front of a big ass television, watching the charts and refreshing our portfolios. I'd be like, dude, I have another $5,000. Wow, it's crazy, this and that. And we were making so much money. The problem is, I thought it would never stop because I wasn't really still into crypto. I was buying coins, but I had no understandings of like real bull and bear markets and liquidity and market caps and the use cases these coins have or had or didn't have. So I thought it was up only. Well, we all know that crypto is not up only, and it showed, because this is what happened to Digibytes, where it went from 13.5 cents in January 6th, and by March 28th, so 2 months later, it was already sitting at 1.5. It got absolutely wrecked. And what I did is I bought this whole way down. I bought this whole way down. So the problem in my first, well, it wasn't even a cycle, was when I bought Bitcoin, is I sold way too early. I made some money, but I did not know what it was. And I felt like, yeah, okay, done. Selling too early, don't do it. If you know, if you want to buy something, know what you buy, right? Then you can better understand if you are selling it too early or not. If you don't know what it is, then yeah, profit is profit, and you probably want to take that. In this cycle, I sold way too late. Way well. The problem was more I didn't sell at all, kinda, because on the way down I was buying, 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 right? Only buying until I had nothing left, and eventually the coin bled out, and it went absolutely to shit. Now, the stupid thing was that I probably sold it somewhere here. Because in the last cycle it went all the way back again and even higher. Absolutely fucked up. So selling too late is also not what you want to do. And I talk a lot on this channel, like, therefore the coins themselves are not really that interesting, because even Digibytes, a coin that these days nobody is talking about, went from half a cent to 15 cents, right? It went crazy. It did a 30x, if not more. So it went absolutely crazy. And that was a really easy trade. Just buy the low and sell the bull, right? But you have to know where the low is, and you have to know where the top of the bull market is. And in hindsight, that's really easy to say. But I learned from these mistakes. Then it was 2021. So I was way more into crypto then. In 2020, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was giving me all these calls like, "Oh, I bought BNB," and he was talking that he was an early investor in hacks and DeFi kingdoms, and he made so much money, and I was still broke. I had a music career, and I was mostly focusing on that. And I felt like, yeah, okay, it might be, but I just don't have the money right now. And honestly, if I really believed in it, I would have gotten it and put it in there for somehow, but I didn't. So then the 2021 bull run kind of started, and I started to look at it more. And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe don't have the money to invest, but let me research it. Let me check out how it works. Let me check out how things are looking right now. And well, that's where I eventually started to make a lot of money. I started my YouTube channels. I was doing well. At a certain point, I've quit my job, went full into crypto, and that, yeah, made me a lot more experienced, as I can actually put 40 hours per week into this, or even more, where maybe an average person has like 5 or 6 hours left to spend. So I was really focused hard on crypto, and in this bull market, I made so much money. Let me not compare that to the DGBY chart, by the way, but to the Bitcoin chart. It's more realistic. So well, this bull market, I really did very well. Did very well. I made like $200,000. Started with zero, and the fun thing is, by the time I really started investing, yeah, the bull market was already going really, really, and the big alt season started from halfway the bull market. But yeah, Bitcoin already came from 3K and it was sitting at like 30 or something. So I missed that completely. So I think it's kind of comparable to, by the way, where we are right now. That if you have missed everything, it doesn't really matter. We have so much in front of us. Like, if you missed out on the bottom, well, congratulations, because it means you were not trying to time it anyway, as you shouldn't. Because that's just stupid, right? But I made a lot of money in this bull market. Now, what I did, I sold a little too late in this bull market as well. But I kept some money from this. I definitely kept some money from that bull market. And I was in that bear market, and I was really preparing and learning there. And I think I improved so much during the last bear that in the next bull, yeah, it will be incredible, because the last bull run, I had way less knowledge basically than what I have right now, but I still turned nothing into, a fifth of a million. So now that we are actually early and have the knowledge, I feel like, yeah, okay, the next bull run is gonna be sweet. It's gonna be like it's gonna be awesome. But what I did right here is everybody here was euphoric about Bitcoin going to 100K. I'm not gonna lie. I thought like, hey, this could keep on going, right? And at a certain point, we just had this blow off top right here, and we kept on coming down. And it was a hard one because we also had it over here. We came from 63K all the way to 30, and people thought it was over, but we still went back up again. And that's the reason why a lot of these 100K predictions were made by everybody basically, because it, we came from this, we went all the way down twice as low, and we still managed to get back up, and it was in a short period of time. So everybody thought like, yeah, this is it. And especially then when Bitcoin came down, yeah, that was the hard part, because here, this point, people thought, oh, it's going to be this again. So people here were buying. Therefore, you see the chart going up a little bit. But at the end of the day, this just turned out to be a bear market. And there it went down. And I really, yeah, started taking my profits around this point right here on altcoins, on whatever. And therefore, I could have got a lot more from the last bear market or from the last bull market if I sold it earlier. But you know, if you're in crypto, nobody will be able to buy the exact bottom and sell the exact top. There will always be regrets. There will always be, when you look in hindsight, like, oh, if I done this, like, I I remember, man. There was a private sale going on of a project. They reached out to me. They wanted to talk about the sale, and it looked so good. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna invest $10,000 into this private sale. Um, and I was applying, and you had the KYC, so asking for your passport. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's in the other room. I will do that later. And I forgot about it. And that private sale ended up doing 120x. It got released on Kucoin. It went crazy. And then I was thinking, like, okay, huh. So I just missed out on $1.2 million dollars because I was too lazy to walk to another room. Crypto is a bitch. So there will always be multiple different ways for you to look back at the market and be like, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I didn't do that. Don't be too hard on yourself. It is hard already. It's hard enough already. So that's our these are my mistakes. First market, sold way too early. The second one, bought the whole way down, and the third one, yeah, sold a little too late. Now we have been talking on this channel a lot about preparing, right? Because my strategy, you have to have a strategy, right? I say this more, but I can, like a lot of other YouTubers, of course, make videos every day about top 10 coins to buy. Um, but it's not that easy, actually, because you can buy a very good coin, but if you buy it here, yeah, then it doesn't matter, right? You can buy a terrible coin, but if you buy it here, it can still perform. Right, timing is so, and again, when I talk about timing, I don't mean trying to time the bottom or the top, but with timing, I do mean, hey, in what phase of the market are we? Are we in an accumulation phase? Are we in an uptrend? Are we in a downtrend? Are we in a distribution phase? And that really matters. And if you buy somewhere or sell somewhere near that range, yeah, then you will do well. Now, Bitcoin, whatever might happen over the next coming months, Bitcoin at least had its accumulation phase from November, but even July last year. But that around that whole 20K area, if you bought at 16, if you bought at 24, anywhere in between, was a great accumulation phase. I'm not saying it isn't right now. It depends on where the price is going eventually, but we had a better chance than what we have right now. I'm not gonna sit here and say like, hey, this is gonna happen with Bitcoin. I do that in a lot of videos, but that's not really what the video is about. But you can see the halving is coming pretty soon. The halving is coming in April 24, at least that's estimated. Now, after every halving, Bitcoin always goes into a bull market. Okay, and a lot of people might think that we are already in a bull market, and we might. But when I look at the previous halvings, these are the blue lines, are the previous halvings. After the halving, we go in a bull market. After the halving, we go in a bull market. And you can say that where we are right now is already the bull market, but you could have also said that over here and we still went down. So anywhere before the halving, I'm quite skeptical, but I'm positioned in any possible way. Now, my strategy very quick. A lot of people that are familiar with the channel know this already. If you don't, or if you're new, make sure to join, because bear market is mostly behind us and the fun part is about to start. But my strategy was for a long time DCA into Bitcoin and buy altcoins later with that Bitcoin, because a lot of charts have shown that altcoins are going down against Bitcoin. So in that case, I felt like, yeah, I can be in stables, but I can also be in Bitcoin. That way I have exposure to the market in case it goes up, and it did. But I can also use that as dry powder to buy my altcoins with. And altcoins on the Bitcoin pair are now sitting way closer to the bottom than altcoins on the dollar pair. And that's just purely because Bitcoin went up and not because of altcoins went up on their own. So that's my strategy. Now, the things that I'm buying, and I will make some more videos about this, about what I'm really looking at, but it's mostly crypto gaming. Now, it's quite fun that if you look, for example, at Axie Infinity, okay? This was the coin that set it all off for crypto gaming in the last bull market, right? It came from like 50 cents, even 14 cents right here, 12 cents, and it had a run all the way to $10. This was a huge run already, right? 10 cents to $10, give or take. This was already 100x. And on the chart, it looks like nothing, right? And even after that, it cooled off, went back to like $4, and then it went all the way up, did another, 50x. Axie Infinity, 50 Axie Infinity, did amazing. The thing is, though, look at Axie Infinity. This is the game which was valued at an $10 billion market cap. This. I'm not saying that AAA has to be valued more, because I'm a big fan of the simple games, the smaller. That's also, I think, a reason why Nakamoto is now killing it. Simple, small, addictive games that you can, pull up on your phone, play, and lay down again. However, this was quite overpriced for what it was, but it was the first one that really got mainstream. The thing is, now we have games, man. We finally start to have some games that you feel like, hey, this could have been released on PlayStation, right? It's coming there. We have a Star Atlas, we have an Illuvium, we have a Shrapnel. They are so big time. There's so much really good stuff out there. And that's all AAA, I know, right? But the games just look better. And Pixels on the Ronin network, by the way. But we had Jewel, which did fantastic, right? So the games are so much better right now. So the things that I'm mostly looking at first for the next bull run are the chains that these games have been built on. Like, for example, we have IMX. 200 games currently building on IMX. Good chance that there will be a lot of successful games there, right? Now, but out of the 200 games, try to pick the winner, right? That's hard. You can also just invest in the infrastructure, which is currently freaking mooning, by the way. But you can also invest in the infrastructure like IMX, the chain that all powers it. Because if one game is successful on IMX, IMX does well. If multiple games are successful on IMX, IMX does well as well. So you won't make the 100x as you do with these single games. But the risk of being in these single games is also way higher because there are so many games and most will fail. There are Ponzi's, they won't work out, tokenomics suck, the hype passes. there are a lot of risk with these kind of things. So I'm betting on the infrastructures like IMX, but also Ronin chain, the Run chain, Ronin, way more low cap by the way, at a $200 million market cap, but still looking quite healthy. The last like 3 months or so, right? Doubled in price. These are the things that I'm betting on. And therefore, a Solana is interesting as well, right? Solana, yeah, it's now mooning, right? And it's all already super high cap. It's super high cap. But these are the safer bets, at least, right? And if you are in crypto to say, like, hey, I want to at least make 5x my portfolio, you can just put your money in these kind of things. It's almost guaranteed to happen, right? There's no guarantee, but it's pretty much like guaranteed. Um, AVAX, for example, a chain which is very well with crypto gaming. So there are a couple of these chains. Then you can go lower down the list, adding more risk. Then you could say like, okay, what's built on these chains and what still has an infrastructure, like the Galas, right? Slightly lower cap, but a complete studio, so also not depending on one single game, or Vulcan Forged, which is actually their own layer one right now with the Elysium chain, but a complete studio, right? And there are a lot of these things. But you can also go with a slightly lower, take more risk. You go with projects like Altora. Altora, currently not a $40 million market cap, but they power all the NFTs basically. Right? And then you can start looking at like, okay, what are the single games? Now there is a lot you can use for that. I would say check out the App Radar and go to ranking and check out games. For example, you can check out here which games are there, how many active users do they have. You can check out the GameFi section right here, and you can select the chain that you want it to be built on. So if you feel like, hey, I want a game that's been built on Solana, for example, you select that and you see the games built on Solana right here, and you could check them out. They are like crazy high risk. But there are some $1 million market cap projects out there right now that will blow your freaking mind. And if you feel like, hey, I want to take a gamble on that, be prepared for it to go to zero, but that's also how you can do it. And if you really want to be safe, yeah, then you can go with Launchpads, for example. And I like that most because that's the safest option, but also the highest rewarding option. So if you, for example, look at a Seedify, which I'm stalking you with on this channel, this is a gaming Launchpad. So you have to have the Seedify token, you have to stake it, and therefore you get access to new launches. And new launches, you automatically buy the bottom. And if they go lower, you get a refund. So that's perfect. Like there are a lot of ways to play this. You can, of course, and you will, in the middle of the bull market when it happens, you will hear a lot of people talking about shitcoins, meme coins again, and there will be some kind of new stupid hype in crypto. If you want to ride the hype, ride the hype. But if you want to go with a long-term and safe and a good option, I would say look for quality, and where is the quality built as well. So and therefore I like gaming so much because that's a narrative that will never die, right? Will never die. In crypto, SocialFi is also a hype right now. And SocialFi on itself will never die, at least the socials. But in crypto, I don't know. Gaming is the most safe option when it comes to that. People never stop gaming. Also in the bear market, they will always playing games. So that's my look. That's my strategy. That's my game plan for between now and let's say end of 2025 to my expectation is to at least 20x my portfolio. And I can sit here and tell you like, yeah, we're going to do 100x. And we definitely could. But if I want to keep it realistic, I didn't went through all this for just a 10x. 50x is doable, but hard. 100x is possible, but I'm not going to think that's going to happen. If I'm pulling off a 20x in the next cycle, I'm pretty happy. But it's also because I am taking like not too much risk. and not losing your money is also worth something. So I don't know. If you like it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on, check out the Patreon down below where you get a lot of early access. And if you want to buy any of these coins, they're mostly all on Bybit, so there is a link down below where you can get some discount on your trading fees as well. And there are a lot of cool competitions and all of that, so make sure to check it out. Stay safe, and we're gonna make it.